Going to go live in a moment. We are live at the moment. I'm just going to wait for a minute or two for everybody to show up and come on the live session here. I just shared our session, our live session on our Facebook page as well. So if you're new here, my name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners. In this channel, I focus on educating dog owners to become an educated dog lover using a system of dog training that is very easy and simple to learn, play and praise reward system without the use of treats or food, force, shock collars, prong collars, any aversive tools, without being alpha or domination. And I teach this method to dog owners to become a little bit more aware of their dog and their relationship with their dog. So let's talk about dogs tonight. So all the great things about dogs. Let's talk about what makes dogs great. How can you have a great dog, and the important parts of living with a dog. This is Jonah, one of my beagles who I lost a year ago. He was one of the greatest dogs for me, in my opinion. What made him great was many things, but the main thing that it made him to become a great dog for me, for instance, was because he was my best friend and he was very attached to me. I was really connected to him, he was really connected to me, so it was very special. And when I lost him last year, it was very traumatic for me, very tragic for me. I felt really bad. For a couple of months, I was kind of very stressed. I was missing him. It was very difficult for me to function normally. And that was because I lost basically one of my best friends, and that was very heavy for me. Hi Nancy, nice to see you. Thank you for being here. By the way, if you have any questions, please leave those questions in the comments area, in the chat line, and I will answer them as soon as I can. I have some questions as well. Previously from my clients, they have asked me some questions. I'm going to answer them as well. So if you happen to be asking these questions, or you are the one who has asked these questions and you are live with me, then great. And if you haven't asked and you happen to be asking this question, it would be beneficial for you to also learn about this. So yeah, what I was saying was that Jonah Sangrita is here as well. Hi Sangrita, nice to see you. Thank you for being here. By the way, if you could leave me some information about what kind of dog you have, how old is your dog, and the name of the dog as well, it would be great. So I'm talking about Jonah. He was a beagle, and he was 16 years old when he passed away. He just went to his sleep and he didn't wake up the next day. So he passed away peacefully. And he was one of the greatest dog for me, I would say in general as well, hopefully, because he was working here with me and we were doing everything together. Everybody knew him. I named my business that I currently run, which is the doggy daycare that we run, and also everything that we run here. It's called Jonah's Ark. His name was Jonah. So I named my business after him. So he was a very big part of me and my life. We did everything together. He was very calm dog. He was very easy to train, very easy to deal with. He was very kind, he was very gentle, and he was very sweet. He had the regalness of a beagle as well, so he was a wonderful dog. I really enjoyed having him, and he was, as I said, he was a big part of my life. And Now that I don't have him, I'm still mourning. It's been almost more than a year now, and I'm still mourning, but that's the part that when you have a dog, you just get into that zone with your dog, and they touch you in many ways. So we were going to talk about in general how we can have a great dog. So for me, Jonah was a great dog. And if you have a dog who you feel is a great dog, let me know. Let me know in the chat area. Do you think your dog is a great dog? And if it's so, why do you think it's a great dog? So Sangrita says, I'm looking to buy French Bulldog. What do I look for? French Bulldogs, Frenchies in a way, they are great dogs in general. They are kind of dogs that I would say, they're a little bit hard to handle if you don't know the breed. Frenchies are easy to train, but they need a strong hand. What I mean by that is you need to be really, like beagles as well, you need to be really ahead of them. Because if you don't, then their Frenchy attitude, their Frenchy behaviors, and their Frenchy energy will come out and will just take over and will just make you stress, actually, because they are a little bit strong-headed. So you want to be really careful. You want to be ahead of them. Training is very important, and as usual, as I always say, what are the 5 things that you need to focus on when we are talking about dogs is exercise, training, socialization, care, and also affection. If you focus on these 5 things, exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection, no matter what breed of dog you have or you will have or you will get, you're going to be okay. Most people focus on this only, affection and care. Most dog owners, when they think about, or dog lovers, when they think about dogs, they mainly focus on these 2, care and affection. These 2 are not as important for them because they think, exercise is just a walk. As long as the dog gets to walk. Training, they really don't focus on. Socialization is something that is very important, especially if you're dealing with a Frenchie. You want to really focus on training. So if you focus on these 5 things, as I said, many people, they focus only on care and affection. They get up in the morning and they say, good morning, sweetie pie, how are you doing? You want breakfast? I'll give you breakfast. Oh, you want to go pee and poo? Let's go do that. And then that's it. They repeat that all over again throughout the day. So what you want to do is start the day, for example, with exercise. Take your dog for a walk. Focus on training your dog a little bit. Socialize your dog with everything and anybody or anything that you can, and then feed the breakfast and then share affection. When you share affection at this stage rather than the first stage, after you have provided exercise, training, socialization, care, and you share affection, that affection is more beneficial to your dog, and you get better results if you share affection at that moment rather than any time, any place, for any reason. When you share affection at any time, any place, any reason, you lose values, you lose points. So the affection doesn't work anymore for you. So what happens when you ask, for example, asking your dog to sit, your dog doesn't sit because you have shared a lot of affection at the wrong time, the wrong place, wrong energy, for no reason. So the value of affection is gone. So therefore your dog doesn't sit, right? So hopefully that makes sense. So if you're going to get any dog, especially if you're going to get a French Bulldog, You want to focus on these 5 things, 5 essential needs, so you will have a better dog. Sangrita says, I have a female Indian mongrel puppy. I have heard about them. They tend to be, hold on, let me just quickly Google it. They tend to be, oh yeah, okay, I know what they are. They tend to be a little bit also high energy level. So what that means is they are working dog as well. So they want to do things. They want to get involved with things. So, and Sangrita says its name is Roxy. Pretty good. So you have a puppy, and it's one of those dogs that it's bred to do something. So you want to focus on, in your dog, you want to mainly focus on exercise, training, and socialization. Care and affection, I'm not saying it's not important, but for this type of dog, I would say these 3 is more important. Exercise, they need, because they are high energy dog, they need a lot of exercise. They need a lot of training, and also a lot of good socialization, because they tend to be one of those dogs who are, they don't really attach themselves to humans because they're focused on working mentality. So they're mainly focused on exercise and training in their mind. So you want to socialize them a lot more. Does that make sense, Sangrita? So you want to focus on a lot of training, and if you need training and if you need help with training, I have all kinds of videos in my channel, and you can go and watch and learn what to do. Blue Matrix is in the house. Also, Love My Chi is in the house. Love My Chi says, I have a 9-week-old Chihuahua, and he's really mouthy, meaning he bites, and when corrected with no, he growls and bites more. What should I do? Very good. Okay, so I think I have one question, similar question to that. So I'm going to answer them at the same time. So the reason a 9-week-old would bite and get aggressive or behave that way is because puppies, they are going through this period that, you know, their gums, they're teething, so their gums is very sensitive. So what they want to do is they want to get rid of this sensation that they're getting around their gums, and it really bothers them. So it really stresses them out. So what you want to do is focus on providing your puppy chew toys. Chew toys are different toys. They're really rubbery, hard, tough toys, which the puppy can chew on it and kind of relax and massage the gum and get rid of that sensation. So you can either get them chew toys or bones, but be careful, don't get them tough bones, get them regular bones so they can grind on the bone and get that sensation and also the benefit of chewing a bone. So the reason they growl and bite when you say no and when you're correcting, the reason first of all they bite or nip on you and things like that is because you know, they're stressed. They're really bothered with that sensation. So internally they're very stressed. So what they want to do is they want to get rid of that sensation. So you have to provide a lot of chew toys for your dog. So as Nancy says, I'm glad I got lots of chew toys. Yes, you want to get a lot of chew toys. Get 10, 20 chew toys and just throw them all over the house. Just leave them everywhere. Let the puppy pick up one of those and just work on them anytime that is possible. So with a 9-week-old puppy, you don't want to also play with them physically. You want to kind of play with them with the toy. So let them chew on the toy or bite the toy rather than chew and play with you. This is the age also actually that is, I don't recommend dog owners to play with their puppies physically. Between, I would say 8 weeks old till about 3 months, almost to 4 months, you don't want to play physically with your dog. Because if they are feeling that sensation, they will take advantage of your hand and they will bite your hand. Then you're going to say, ow, and then you're going to get into that negative zone that you're going to be aggressive to your dog and you're going to get pissed at your dog. So you don't want to get into that situation. So what you want to do is just give them chew toys, bones, and let them, this is another tip, let them play with another puppy or another dog who's older dog who's well behaved. Let them play with other dogs. So those will help you to solve that chewing problem. By the way, Love My Chi, if you have any follow-up questions, let me know if I answered your question. Blue Matrix is in the house. Hello, Blue Matrix, and it's nice to see you here. And Sagrida says her dog's, Roxy, is 6 months old. So it's a very good stage of their life for you to focus on training and exercise. Focus on exercise and training, mainly training, okay? Blue Matrix says, I don't know if you remember, I adopted a 1-year-old Beagle. He's doing way better and is barking way less. Great. He's almost a month with us. Why my dog only make poo-poo in the backyard and never outside? Okay. Wow, these are similar questions. So I had another question here. Somebody had asked me, their dog also only poops inside the house and not outside. But your Beagle, it's great to hear that your Beagle is doing well, but is doing poo-poo in the backyard and never outside. So you mean your Beagle is pooping in the backyard, but not when you're taking it for a walk. So there are several reasons why that happens. One is just consequent, like, it just happens to be at the right place at the right time that your puppy has to poop inside. Two, could be because your puppy feels more comfortable and confident to be pooping in the house, in the backyard where your puppy is more familiar with and it's secure. So what you want to do is take your puppy, now it's a year old, take your Beagle outside. Maybe you're not giving enough walk. Focus on walking your Beagle for about half an hour at least. Give enough time for them to do the business. The other thing that you can do is about, I would say, an hour or half an hour for a year-old. It'll take about half an hour for them to want to go. So maybe feed, and then half an hour later or an hour later, take him for another half an hour walk and see if they're going to do. If you see that the reason only poops inside, because it's something that I've seen a lot of dogs do. They lack that confidence in themselves. So if you want to bring the confidence up, you want to work on mainly on training. Training brings the dog's confidence up, helps with raising the confidence level. And once the confidence level comes up, so you are walking him 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes later. So make sure that your timing is well. So it could be that, so here's a tip. So what I want you to do is for the next 2 or 3 days, find out what time is it that your Beagle goes and poops in the backyard. Let's say it's pooping around 6 or 7 p.m., right? Just an example. So today he went and pooped around 6 o'clock, tomorrow around 7 o'clock, next day around 6:30, 8 o'clock. So there's a window between 6 and 8 that he may poop, right? So you take him out during that time, outside, and let him poo and pee outside. So that will help you to have some help also control over his bowel movement. I hope that makes sense. Sangrita says, yes, thanks. So I hope that made sense to you, my answer. Naturally, Fly is in the house. Thank you for being in the live session. Will you tell me what the dog might feel when ears raised, ears back, ears to the side, etc.? Okay, sure. Very good question. Very technical question. All right. So when the ears are raised, they are aware. They're in the mode of very cautious. They're very cautious, right? They're careful about it. They want to figure out what is going on. They're trying to take as much as information they can. So where was the question? Okay. Ears back is a dog who is not feeling confident. It's feeling, the ears go on the back like that, or fall down like that. Ears back means a dog who's not feeling confident, is scared, is not sure of what's going on, right? Timid. And ears to the side means they're actually relaxed. They're not hyper or excited, they're not worried, and they're not also scared or timid. They're kind of relaxed. Which brings me to a question that I want to answer actually. So one of my clients was asking me, their dog is very calm, just calmly goes around, the ears is just hanging, and the tail is just in the middle, it's not raised, and it's not down, it's nicely in the middle. And he's not very playful anymore, but he's about 3 years old, and he's just hanging around, and he's not doing much. He doesn't play with other dogs. He doesn't really care about other dogs. He's just hanging around. So the owner thought this dog was sad, was not happy. She felt bad. Here's the answer that I gave to her. I said, your dog is actually happy. That's a happy dog. A dog who's just like that. That's a happy dog. A dog who's doing this and hanging, barking and wagging tail and can't stop. This is not a happy dog. In our eyes, we think this is a happy dog. A dog who's wagging tail and just moving around and just doing this stuff. We think this is a happy dog. This is a dog who's stressed, who's confused, who's excited, doesn't know what to do, can't control itself. But a dog who's just hanging around, that's a happiness. You have to understand that dog's body language is telling us how they feel. This doesn't mean happiness. This means I'm excited, there's too many things going on, I don't know how to stop myself, I'm too excited, I can control myself, I gotta move, my tail is wagging, I can't stop, I'm so happy, I'm so excited, I'm so stressed, I don't know what to do, tell me what to do, please stop me, control me. That's what it's saying. And when you see that dog, you say, oh my goodness, he's happy to see me, you love that too. So you fuel that energy of that dog. So the dog just asks you, I'm so excited, I'm so happy, I don't know what to do, tell me what to do, and you don't tell them what to do. You don't tell them, hey, stop it, get them from going from this to this. You want them to be calm, right? So you have to give that information to your dog. Thank you for asking that question, and it just, I had to share that information with you too. Thank you very much for the question, Naturally Fly. Thank you for being here. Nancy Myers says, I'm glad I got lots of chew toys. That's great. Yes, as much as chew toys you can get for your puppy is the greatest thing that you can do. Sangrita says, my dog is not chewing on the bones anymore like she used to before. So yeah, there is a time, once they get over that sensation, they don't really chew anymore, they don't want to chew anymore. You can give them different forms of bones, different chews. There's a veal chew, there's a buffalo chew. You can give them those chews and see if they will like those. Chewing bone in general is good. It's a good entertainment. So bones, any chew toys, anything like that is good for them. It's a good mental and physical stimulation. Nancy Myers is in the house. Oh, my, very important. I would have done wrong and played physically. Yes. Many dog owners, again, the other part is that one of the mistakes that they do is they play physically with their dog, where your dog doesn't know the difference between a dog and a human. So they treat you like a dog, and you don't want them to treat you like a dog. You want them to treat you like a human. So therefore, instead of confusing the dog and making them be confused and more stressed, I suggest you not to physically play with your dog until you have good control over your dog. Blue Matrix says, all right, I answered that. And Danielle Timothy is in the house also. Thank you for being here, Timothy. Danielle says, hi, I was wondering if you could go over quickly some basics of training a beagle. I have just adopted a 6 months beagle, and I am just trying to be prepared. Very good. You have just adopted a beagle. Also, what are your opinions on crate training, and is it a good idea? Okay, and then you auto-corrected bang. It says bango, but beagle. All right, so very good question. One of the things that you have to focus on is that when you adopt a dog is a little bit different than when you get a dog from normal breeder, normal situation. When you adopt a dog, the story changes a little bit. I don't really suggest to focus on the dog's past, how old, no matter how old they are, because the past doesn't matter anymore. This is a new start, a new life for you and your dog. So you don't want to focus on the past. Don't focus on the past, what happened to the dog, what has gone wrong, if they have done this to this dog or not. Don't focus on that. It doesn't matter what has happened to that dog in the past. What we need to focus on is the future, now and the future. So focus on what you can provide now, from now on to your dog. When you adopt a dog in general, you want to also understand that because we don't know what has gone, and the dog has gone through certain things probably, or maybe not, but we have to understand that it's a stressful situation for that dog. The dog has gone through things in their life, 6 months old, even for 6 months, the dog has gone through ups and downs. So it is a stressful situation, and it would be stressed. So your puppy is very stressed. So whether you have a puppy, a 6 months old, or you adopted a 4 years old dog, it doesn't matter. You have to understand that the dog would be stressed, because also they've gone through ups and downs, and now they are in a new home, they're with you. Therefore, they would be stressed just being with you. Your heart, your mind is saying, hey, I want to help you, let me love you, let me take care of you. But your new dog, adopted dog, has no idea that you want to make that connection. The reason for that is because they have not connected with somebody yet. They haven't connected with you yet either. So you have to give time until that happens. The way the things that you're gonna focus on is always this formula: the dog's 5 essential needs. No matter what situation, you want to focus on exercise, training, socialization, care, and then affection. As a newly adopted dog owner, I know you're going to be focusing maybe on these two. You feel sorry, you feel bad for your new puppy, and you think that that's what your dog needs. It needs affection and care. But the opposite is true. They're not in this zone. They don't care. They want their life to be balanced, right? And the way you're going to help your newly adopted dog to be balanced is by providing and focusing on these three things: exercise, training, and mainly socialization. These three things will help your dog to distress, first of all, have a little bit of time to distress. That will take about a month. If you focus on these three, it will help your dog to distress. After a month, when the honeymoon period is over, you'll see that your dog is going to be more relaxed because it's distressed, and then it's going to show its real personality. It's going to be comfortable being with you and by you. Then you can start focusing on the rest of the formula. But in the beginning, you want to mainly focus on exercise, training, socialization. Once your puppy has gone through this process of distressing and then starting to manifest information from you and be more relaxed in order to really get information from you, then you can start treating it like a normal dog. That would take, I would say, 2, 3 to 6 months. Depends on the dog and personality of the dog and the situation. So it will take some time for it to relax and then feel comfortable to be normal. So until then, I would focus on mainly distressing the dog by exercise, training, socialization. Crate training for a rescue dog is not a bad idea. Depends. I have done a video about crate training. Most dogs, they like crate. There are some dogs who don't like crate. Dogs, although are den animals, they won't mind being in a crate, but you have to train the dog to be okay in the crate. They have to feel comfortable being in the crate and feel relaxed. If you see that your beagle is not feeling comfortable being in a crate, I would say you have to either train it or teach it. If you want to know how to train and teach your beagle to be comfortable in the crate, I will link the video after the show is over. I'll post it in the comments area so you can see and go and watch that video, how to train your puppy to be comfortable in a crate. But if your puppy, let's say if it's okay in a crate, Danielle, have you tried your beagle in a crate? Do you know if your beagle is comfortable in a crate? Let me know. If your puppy is okay, if you feel that your dog is okay in the crate, it's not a bad idea to continue on using crate and with your dog, because they feel. Sure, Nancy, I'll link the video as soon as we're done with the live session. I'll post it in the comments area, and you can go ahead and watch that. So he seems to like it, but he can get restless. So the reason they get restless it's not because you're using the crate, it's because, and barks, yes. The reason they get restless and bark is not because they're in the crate, it's because they don't know what they're supposed to do in that situation. What I mean by that is they get stressed of not knowing what's coming up. So if you place your dog in a crate and just leave, they will say, hey, what happened? First of all, they don't know how to wait for you. Second of all, they think that you punish them when you, first of all, put them in a crate. Second of all, you left them. Dogs are social animals. They like that social connection with humans. So what they want to know is what they feel comfortable is being by you, with you. And if you separate them from you, then they feel like they're being punished. They have done something wrong and you're punishing them. So therefore, what you want to do is you want to teach your dog that you're not punishing them. You're leaving for a few minutes or a few hours, and then you're coming back. So you want to teach them the wait command. And the way you teach a wait command is you start with teaching the stay command and then move to wait command. Stay command is a command that you teach the dog to stay for starting from 10 seconds to up to 2 hours. 5 minutes, 2 hours. You ask your dog to stay for, let's say, starting from 10 seconds to 5 minutes, and you are in front of your dog. You tell your dog stay, and your dog watches you as you stay there for, stay there for 10 seconds up to 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. You can go, there are some trainers who go up to 10 minutes as well. You can push your dog as much as you can. So what basically is, you tell your dog to stay, and you're in front of your dog, and you're just staying with your dog for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, right? Now, once your dog has learned that concept, then you move on to wait command. So let's say it takes your dog to learn to stay from 10 seconds to 5 minutes, and it takes you 2 months, 3 months to comfortably just sit and wait for you, stay for 5 minutes, then you move to wait command. The wait command is, it starts from 5 minutes to 4 hours. So in this case, you are not visible to your dog. So you could be here, you could be in a different room and your dog is staying here, and you're in different room or different place, and your dog can't see you. So you wait for, stay for 10 seconds, come back and say, hi, good boy, good girl. Then work on 20 seconds, 30 seconds, you go to a different room, come back, and then you move on to leaving your dog in the living room, going outside of the house, closing the door, coming back in 10 seconds. All those steps you take, all you do is start building longer times and longer distances between you and your dog. And therefore, that way your dog learns that, oh, my job is to wait. When I hear the command wait, I wait. My owner, my human, is going to come back whenever, but he's going to come back. The fact is, when we don't do this process, and we don't go through this training process with our dogs, when we want to go somewhere and we shove our dogs in the crate and we close the door and we leave, the dog has no idea what's going on. They get stressed. They think something happened. What happened? Why are you punishing me? Why are you putting me in jail? What did I do? Where are you going? Why all of a sudden you left? I didn't do anything wrong. They ask these questions, they get stressed. But if you go through that process of training the dog, after a few months, when you tell them go in the crate and even you close the gate and then leave, they know, okay, you told me to wait, you will be back, I know this, you always come back, because we practice this, you always come back. So if you do that, if you go through this process, then you will have a dog who can tolerate being in a crate. Crate is not the problem, it's the process of not knowing what is going on, or using it for punishment or to separate the dog is the problem. Hopefully that made sense, Danielle. I think I answered your question. Very good. And I think, and also the other part that I wanted to answer also is, when it comes to training your dog, right, there are a few things that you want to focus on teaching your dog, especially if you have a beagle or any kind of dog that Very good. Thank you, Danielle. So one of the first things that you want to focus on training on your dog is leash walking. The command of sit, stay, and come. So these are the 4 things that you want to focus on when you're thinking about training. You know, there are many commands that you can teach your dogs. There are many trainers and many styles and methods of training the dog, all kinds of commands. The basic commands are, now this is not a command, leash walking. If you can't walk your dog properly on leash, it doesn't matter what you do, none of this will work. So the way I look at it, let me do it this way. Let me explain it this way. So in one side you have these commands. On the other side you have let me explain it clearly for you, okay? So on one side you have the sit command, stay command, and come command. On the other side you have leash walking, okay? So this is the scale. If you don't teach your dog the leash walking, your dog is going to have a hard time learning how to sit, stay, and come. And if you don't focus also and teach the dog sit, stay, come, your leash walking is not going to improve. Am I making sense? So these are connected to each other. They feed off each other. So you want to teach your dog how to walk properly, as well as teaching your dog to sit, stay, and come. Because if you teach the sit, stay, come, you're going to see that you're going to gain a little bit more control. Then your leash walking is going to improve. And if your leash walking improves, then when you're practicing with your dog to sit, your dog is going to learn faster to sit, right? So these feed off each other. So these are first things that we want to teach your dog. Sit, stay, and come. So the sit and stay are basically teaching the dog to sit and stay while we are practicing, let's say, 10 seconds to 5 minutes. The come command is a command that many dog owners and dog trainers, they call it the life and death command. The reason is because if your dog is somewhere and a car is passing by and you can ask your dog to come and your dog comes and you can save your dog's life. But the thing is, that's not the reason I'm saying to teach the dog to come. Because if you leash walk your dog, if you train your dog to leash walk, to walk properly on leash, your dog will never be far from you. They will always walk right by you. If you focus on teaching your dog to walk nicely on a leash, your dog would never be straying away from you. Therefore, you don't really have to use the command of come. But the command of come is good for basic obedience to teach the dog to learn something. You know what I mean? The down command, shake a paw command, and things like that, they're not very, they're not challenging enough. And also the down command is a command that should come later in life, you know. Your dog has to feel really comfortable and confident in order for dog to go to down position. So that's not very important at the moment. At the moment, we want to focus on sit, stay calm, and then focus on leash walking. So I hope that makes sense. Nancy has a question. What do I use crate dividing for? Okay. All right, I think that's the question. Yes. So very good question. So the crate divider is This is something that I think is a good idea when you're buying a crate. Let's say you have a lab, you get a lab puppy, right? When you get a puppy, lab puppy is this size, but you know eventually they're going to be this size, right? Eventually they're going to be big. So what you do is you buy a crate that fits a regular lab in it, and then you bring that crate home. So that would be your dog's home. So you start with the divider, you add the divider in there, so your puppy stays. So since I have this, let me show you visually what I mean by that. So let's say this is the crate, right? And this is your puppy. Okay? This is your puppy. So your puppy is this size, but you know that your lab eventually is going to be huge. It's going to be big. It's going to be this big, right? Eventually, right? So what you want to do is you want to get the crate, and the divider is to put the divider so your puppy is staying in this area, and this area is not being used now. As your puppy starts growing up and gets bigger and bigger, then you can start moving the divider over as your puppy gets bigger and bigger. So your puppy starts liking the crate and lives and becomes his or her house until your puppy is big enough to fit in the whole crate. Does it make sense? So the divider is to use for anytime your puppy is growing in the crate. So this also saves you money. So most dog owners, what they do is they purchase different crates as the dog grows up. They end up having 4 or 5 crates. I've noticed that. So what you want to do is you want to buy one big crate that fits your full-grown dog, and then use the divider to make the dog to grow up in that crate. All right. That was great. That was very helpful, Danielle says. And I have watched many of your videos. I will go and watch the crate one after. Sure, very good. Can I teach command at 8 weeks old? Nancy Myers is asking, can I teach command at 8 weeks old? You can teach anything that you want to a dog, but you shouldn't expect results. You can teach, but you shouldn't expect results. So what I mean by that is you can start teaching your dog. We mainly call it, you want to word it. So wording is, let's say, you say, Rover, sit, right? Rover either sits or doesn't sit, but starts hearing Rover, first of all, learns that, okay, my name is Rover. Second of all, the human is talking to me, is communicating to me. And it's saying something like sit. I have no idea what sit is, but it's communicating to me. And I highly recommend not to use treats if you're going to train your puppy at 8 weeks old. Treat training is not ideal. So you want to use words, play, and praise to train your puppy, but don't expect results. Just word it. Let your puppy just hear the words and get comfortable with it. After a few weeks or a month or so, then expect results. After you have repeated many, many times, then you can expect some results. But you can start practicing them, you can start teaching them, you can start wording them, but don't expect results. Because as a human being, as dog owners, we expect, as soon as we say sit, the dog sits. It's even the sit command is very hard for dogs to learn, not because it's a command. It's because it's a communication. You're teaching your dog to do something very special. So it takes time. So I would say just, you know, just practice, but don't get too caught up with getting results. Why aren't you sitting? Come on, sit, you know. I'm actually, I was just going to mention, I will be soon releasing a video that I will talk about 5 dog training mistakes that dog owners make. It will be released soon. I'm working on it and it will be released soon. So yes, Nancy, that was a great question. So Danielle says, makes sense, perfect sense. Great, thank you. Danielle has another question. Sorry to swamp you. That's fine. Feel free to ask any questions. That's why I'm here. He keeps chewing up his dog beds. Only one blanket has survived, and that is what he sleeps on. Do I train this out of him or keep the dog beds at a safe distance? So the reason your puppy is chewing, you have to understand there's something causing stress. So what you want to do is focus on, hold on, let me just wipe this off. So when a dog is chewing and is behaving like that, these are signs that your dog is stressed. What I mean by that is, you know, dogs, they can come and tell you, you know, have a seat, I gotta tell you something. What you're doing is stressing me out. Stop it. They can't have this conversation with us. So instead, they do things. They show you things, they behave certain way, they do things to tell you that they're stressed. So when you're seeing a dog is chewing things, is barking, is digging, is doing all these kinds of behaviors, the reason that happens is because you haven't focused on these 2 things. You need to focus on your dog's mental and physical stimulation. Okay? Many people forget that it's not only physical that you have to physically stimulate your dog. Mentally, you have to stimulate your dog. So mentally is training. Physically, physical stimulation is walking, playing, also training. These are physical stimulation. If you focus on this, you'll see that your dog's stress level is going to be fading out. Now, if you focus on walking your dog, playing with your dog, or allowing your dog to play and train your dog using play and praise reward system, not treat training, not force training, not clicker training, not any other method of dog training. If you use play and praise reward system dog training, which my channel is all about, you'll see that you're going to get some physical stimulation as well when you're training your dog. Mental stimulation is training as well. Training is a mental stimulation. So what you want to do is you want to focus on these. Now, the way you're going to figure it out is you're going to focus on 30% physical stimulation and 70% mental stimulation. So mainly you want to do training with your dog, some physical stimulation. There is still training involved in that. So if you focus on this, you'll see that your dog's stress level is going to go down and they're going to chew and dig and bark less. So don't get pissed when your dog is doing something wrong. Many dog owners, what they do, they get pissed or frustrated because their dog is doing something wrong. I want you to understand the reason your dog is doing that is because they're communicating to you. They're telling you how they're feeling. They're not trying to piss you off. Their plan is not to piss you off. They're not trying to come up with a list of things to piss you off. Oh, I'm going to go dig the hole. I'm going to chew on the coffee table. What else can I do? I can go and pee on the carpet. I can also dig a hole. I can chew on their favorite shoe and the carpet. They don't think about that way, or they don't plan it. The situation allows them to happen to do those stuff because you don't listen to them. You're thinking that they're trying to ruin your life. You got a nightmare. You have a dog who's trying to ruin your life and it's over. No. Your dog is just telling you, hey, I need stimulation. I need physical and mental stimulation. Give it to me. Here's the other cue, and here another tip. If you want your dog to listen to you, you have to listen to your dog. If you don't listen to your dog is going to say, what? You're ignoring me. So I'm going to ignore you too. I'm going to do anything that I can to get you pay attention to me. So exactly that's what happens. When your dog starts chewing on things, you pay attention to them. Oh, stop it. They say, okay, as soon as I start chewing on the carpet or the rug or the bed, he comes and interacts with me. That's what I need to do. So you have to turn the situation, making it from negative to positive, and interact with them in this way, mental and by providing interaction, mental and physical stimulation to your dog. Is it making sense? And I love talking about this stuff. I love educating dog owners to understand this stuff. Dog training is very simple. We make it very complicated and confusing, especially dog training industry tries to make you feel that it's a very confusing, very complicated task. Dog training is not complicated. It's very simple. All you have to do is pay attention to your dog. Focus on your dog. Put some time aside to pay attention and do focus to your dog. I know life is busy, we are overwhelmed with things we have to do, but you also have to consider that you have a dog. You have another responsibility. Your dog doesn't come automatically preloaded with knowledge and how to live with humans. You have to take the time to teach and train the dog and download and upload information in your dog. If you take the time to do the right things, then you'll see that your dog is going to behave properly. Believe it or not, in the beginning of this live session, I was talking about my own dog, Jonah, and also I have Harvey as well. I don't have his picture here, but I have Harvey. The reason that he was a perfect dog and he was a great dog, the reason I have another great dog, Harvey, it's not because I'm a dog trainer. It has nothing to do with dog training. It's because I take the time to pay attention to them, to interact with them. It doesn't matter how busy my life is. I take some time off to focus on my dogs and give them that time that they need, especially when they are at that age of 3 to 4 months and a year. This is the time that they need you the most. They need you to give them as much as information as you can and provide a good life for them so they can be a good dog, you know? I hope that makes sense. Thank you, crate and divider coming tomorrow. Very good. And Nancy says that they're getting the crate and they're gonna use it tomorrow. So now you know, Nancy, how to use the crate. I hope you have gotten the biggest crate that you can imagine your dog is going to grow up. And I'll start early, not expecting results. Yes, very good. I'll put treats away. Yes, definitely, Nancy, I suggest you to put treats away. The reason I always focus on not using treats to train dogs, there are several reasons. I'll just briefly touch on them. Treats, when we use treats, we are feeding our dogs. That's basically what it is. When you're feeding your dog, when you're giving treats, you're feeding your dog. It doesn't matter if you think that you're training, but you're feeding your dog. When you're feeding your dog, in general, it causes health issues. I know, it's surprising. Animals, they don't eat all the time. Humans eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Snacks in between, desserts all over the place. We eat too much as a human being. But animals and dogs, they don't eat often. They eat once in a while when they're really hungry. When they feel hungry, they eat. If they eat too much, it will cause them to have health issues and they will die young. So they don't want to eat. You will see if you watch Animal Planet or Discovery and any kind of video shows like that. The lion, for example, the animals, they go and kill an animal, hunt it, kill it, eat it, and then they can sit there and an animal can pass by, they don't care. They're fed, they're okay. An animal can pass by, they don't try to eat again just because it's there. You know what I mean? But we do the opposite with our dogs. We feed them constantly. So feeding a dog constantly, even though your thinking is only used for training, you're still feeding them breakfast and lunch and dinner maybe, and you're still feeding them treats. So you're still feeding them, no matter if you're giving this small treat or this size treat. You're still feeding your dog. So it causes health issues. Beside that, it causes your dog to have confusion. Your dog, I've always said this, your dog will do anything for you for free. You don't have to confuse your dog with doing things for you for treats. Your dog is saying, you know what, you're giving me shelter, you're giving me love, you're giving me food, you're giving me everything that I need. I will do anything for you. They will do anything for us for free, just because they love us. So take advantage of that and give your dog, tell your dog what to do and train your dog. Your dog will do anything for you for free. But as soon as you bring treats in the occasion, in this relationship, the dog said, I was going to do anything for you for free. Now you're feeding me, you're giving me food. So am I supposed to do things for you for food, or was I supposed to do for free? I was going to do it for free, now I'm confused. Do I need to do things for you for food? Okay, whenever you give me food, I'll do it. So therefore you are confusing your dog. So what happens, your dog thinks that because, dog dad is in the house, but guys, dog dad is Scott J. Marshall II. He is a very well-known raw diet specialist. We have done, he's a blogger as well, and he has a YouTube channel. You can YouTube search Dog Dad and his channel is going to show up. We just did a series of videos about raw diet that is available now in my channel's playlist, Raw Diet, and I'm going to add one more video which is going to be posted tomorrow morning to the list of videos that we've done. I highly suggest you to check those out, and also check out his channel and check out everything that you need to know about raw diet. Basically visit rawfeeding101.com and you'll find everything about him. So Dog Dad is in the house. Thank you for being in here. And I was just talking about why you shouldn't use treats to train dogs. So the reason, one of them was because it's a health problem, that we cause health issues when we train our dogs. They are being fed. The other part is that it confuses the dogs when you feed or train them. So what happens, the dog says, I was going to do everything for you for free, but now you're confusing me, you're making me, yes, it becomes, you're confusing, and also causes health issues. It causes them to become fat dogs, and then they become sad dogs. Exactly. So not only now you fed the dog breakfast, and now you're treating the dog, with training the dog and feeding the dog. Now you're feeding more food to the dog, so your dog is gaining more weight. They start gaining weight and they're not happy, they're not healthy, and and then it causes them to have shoulder pain, hip problems, all these health issues, and they are in pain, so they get stressed, they become sad, and then you're saying, why my dog is sad, why is not happy, why is not behaving normally, why is it aggressive? It's not because they want to piss you off. It's because we did things wrong. We've overfed them. We fed them when they didn't need to eat. So remember, dogs and animals in general, they don't eat all the time. They only eat when they have to. Now your dog, you're going to say that my dog is always hungry. It feels hungry. Yes, there are opportunities. If you have given treats to your dog all the time, then that has become a routine. It has become a learned behavior. Your dog now is expecting that. You have to remove this routine out of your dog's daily routine life, so your dog doesn't expect food all the time. So I have trained many dogs, thousands of dogs, without using treats, especially, for example, him, Jonah. The reason I started training dogs without treats was because of him. He didn't care about food. He didn't care about treats. We signed up for a puppy training class, and all he wanted to do was play with other dogs. He didn't want to be eating food, or he didn't want to eat treats. He just wanted to play with other dogs. He wanted to interact with humans, which is normal. That's what they want to do. They want to interact with humans, interact with people, socialize, interact. They're social animals. That's what it matters. And then the dog trainer at that time forced me to, instead of going and practicing sit and stay with my Jonah, my homework was to go and find what food or treat would entice him to pay attention in the class. And we were one of the worst students in the class because my dog wasn't paying attention to treats. So everybody was focused on treats except my dog. So I figured out this is not normal. This is not natural for dogs to be fed. And I learned about the system of training dogs without the use of treats and foods, and force and domination. So this is why I don't recommend using treats to train dogs. So let me see what's going on here. So I will put the treat away, says Nancy, and Danielle says also that feels the same, need to hide the treats. Yes, hide them, don't use them. The only time you want to use treats is when you just want to give your dog something, some love for no reason. You just want to give something to your dog. I would suggest just give it for no reason. Your dog doesn't have to do something for you in order to get a treat. or treat or treats. Nancy says, yes, thank you, Saro. I would do everything, I would do everything wrong without you. Oh, no, you're doing great. You see, you have a dog, right? That's the first thing that you think you did right. You have a dog. You're building a relationship. All you have to do is a guidance and how to do stuff. So I'm here to help you and make everything to become for you to become an educated dog lover. Danielle says it makes perfect sense. So when he starts to get restless or bark, should I start training every time, or will training on a schedule naturally stop any form of restlessness or stress? Very good question. So when your dog, let me use the, so when your dog is misbehaving, let's say your dog is barking, right? So you're asking about barking. So when your dog is barking, so let's say your dog is barking, right? And that's your dog barking, right? And you go and say, Rover, stop barking! Rover, stop it! Rover! Right? What are you doing? I'm barking as well. Right? So your dog is saying, oh, you joined me. We're doing the same thing. So this, when your dog is barking, is the worst time to train a dog. That's not the time to train a dog. The time that you want to train your dog is before or after the situation. Because at this time, your dog is focused on whatever is distracting it and is just focused on the barking. It's not focused on you telling it to stop. So this is the worst time to train a dog. So what you want to do is, before or after this behavior has happened, you want to set up some time to train your dog. What that means is you have to, first of all, come up, with a cue, which could be no, the word no, could be no, could be could be whatever word you want to use. You have to first create a cue. Let's say I use the word no. So my dog is about to go and chew on something, right? He's just about to go and grab my remote control. I'll say, Rover, no. And Rover is going to kind of go for it still, but I'll say no. And Rover is going to say, what the hell are you talking about? I'm going to say no, and I'm going to remove that from it. So your word no becomes a word training, familiar word for the dog to learn that when I touched this, the human said no, plus it removed it. So if you repeat this few times, after a few times, your dog is going to say, oh, no means don't touch this. So now that you have created a cue word for your dog, now your dog, when it's barking, if you say no, there is a chance that your dog may stop barking because it's familiar with the cue. Does it make sense? So if you see that your dog is not stopping to bark, that means your cue hasn't been established in your dog's mind yet. So you still have to practice more. You have to repeat the cue word more and more until when your dog is barking, it responds to your cue. Now, the other thing that you want to do is provide mental and physical stimulation for your dog so your dog doesn't have the energy and the mental stress to go and bark. That's another key. If you provide enough mental and physical stimulation for your dog won't have the energy and the stress to misbehave. And if they misbehave, something really bothers your dog and your dog is barking, if you have a cue set up already, cue word, your dog is going to respond to your cue word. So the best time to train a dog is when your dog is calm and is relaxed. There's nothing distracting your dog, there's nothing disturbing you. You have your phone away, you have your phone off, you have your TV off, and it's nice and relaxed. Nothing and nobody is bothering you. Then you dedicate 15 minutes to train your dog. 15 minutes, you focus on your dog and you develop cues. You teach your dog to sit, stay, and come, right? You focus on those, and then you'll see that the bad behaviors are going to start. So, as I said, the chewing, the barking, the digging, and what else was there? Growling, pulling on the leash, misbehaving in general are outcome of a dog who's stressed and is telling you how it feels. So that's what is happening. They are not trying to piss you off, or they're not planning to make your your life miserable. All they're doing is they're having a communication with you. You just have to build a communication system between you and your dog, so your dog learns that you are talking to it, you are communicating to it, and then the communication is going to get better and clearer. So therefore your dog is not going to have the energy or also say, hey, I know this, I'm relaxed now, right? Once you develop that communication, you will have a dog who's confident, who knows exactly what it's supposed to do. If I come across something, I don't need to be barking because I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. So therefore they don't bark. But because they don't know what is going on and they're lacking confidence and they're not happy and they're stressed and sad, as soon as something happens, it pisses them off when they start barking or chewing and things like that, and they're telling you, hey, this thing is bothering me. So all you have to do is work on training your dog. Make sense? So Danielle says, is that 15 minutes a day or every few hours? I don't want to under or overtrain you. Very quick question. So I suggest to focus on 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes every day, if possible, that would be great. So let me give you a good formula here. I think this will, if I give you the visual, will be better. So if you give 15 minutes a day, within 2 months, you'll have a well-trained dog. If you do 15 minutes a day, if you do 15 minutes, if you do 15 minutes every day, within 2 months your dog is going to be trained. If you do 15 minutes every other day, you're going to need 3 months. If you do 15 minutes 2 or 3 days a week, you're going to need 6 months. And if you do 1 day a week training, you're going to need 1 year. Hope that makes sense. So if you train your dog 15 minutes a day, within 2 months your dog would be perfect. Not guaranteed, but I'm sure it's going to happen. If you do 15 minutes every other day training with your dog, within 3 months your dog is going to be okay. If you do 15 minutes 2 or 3 days a week, you're going to need 6 months to get results. And if you do 1 training a day, 15 minutes a day, a week, you're going to have to expect to get results in a year. That's how important it is and how much it takes time for your dog to get trained. That's the realistic way of looking at dog training. Nothing happens the Rome was not built in a day. It happens if you spend time and work on it. Danielle says, this is such an amazing information, Saro. Thank you so much for your help. You are very welcome. Thank you for being here. Any advice on also introducing a dog to cats, one whom is a bit nuts? A bit nuts. Okay, the cat is a nut. All right. So I have done a video about this too. So basically what you want to do is you want to have a good, so I'm assuming you have your cat first and then you brought your dog home. I'm guessing that's the situation. You had your cat and then you brought a dog home. So before bringing that dog home, you want to make sure that you have a good control of your cat. If you don't have Nancy says cat, she has a cat at home too. So first of all, you have to have a good control of your cat and then bring the dog. If you don't have if you happen to bring the dog and you still have the cat and you don't have a good control over your cat, you have to control your cat, put it up, separate for a month or two from the dog. So, things like that. You have to manage it. You have to control it. Separate it, and then hopefully within a few months, a month or so, few weeks, you're going to see that your cat and your dog are going to kind of ignore each other. So in the beginning, they're going to be like, what the hell, who's that? I don't know, who are you? I don't know you, you stress me out, you stress me out too, I hate you too. So in the beginning, it's going to be like that, right? So you're going to have to separate, keep them separate. Either don't let them hang out together, just keep them, separate. Give them time and space to figure out, and they smell each other, right? They figure out a lot of information. So after a while, they figure out, okay, this dog is okay. Yeah, this cat seems to be okay. So after a while, a month or so, right, they're going to be saying, okay, I ignore you. You're okay, you're cool. So once you start seeing them ignoring each other, right, then you can kind of introduce them to each other, and you're going to see they're going to deal with each other better. But don't force them to get along together at first. Give time and space. That's the miracle word. And 15 minutes a day is it then one, and to be honest, that isn't long at all. Thank you. Yes, 15 minutes to 20 minutes. It's not long enough, because here's the thing. 5 minutes is not enough. 10 minutes is kind of over there. It's almost good. 15 minutes is perfect. 20 minutes is good. But more than that, it becomes uncomfortable for the dog and you. So you want to stick with that comfortable time, 15 minutes to 20 minutes. So let's say after 15 minutes, you're going to see your dog is going to start doing stuff, and it's going to ignore you. So then okay, at 16 minutes, it started, phasing out, right? So that's the golden moment. 15 minutes, after 15 minutes, you see that your dog is still interacting with you. Yes, I want to sit for you. Yes, I want to play with you. I want to do this. If you still see that your puppy or your dog is still interacting with you, and it's been 20 minutes now, and it's still going, yeah, go up to 20 minutes. But after that, if you see that your dog is starting to kind of doze off and not pay attention, and ignoring you, then you know, okay, time to stop the training. So 15 minutes a day, you see, even though you're saying it's not that much, but one of the realistic things that I have noticed is many people have a hard time finding even 15 minutes a day to interact with their dogs. That's the sad reality. They have hard time to stick with 15 minutes a day for 2 months. 2 months, if you stick with 15 minutes a day interaction with your dog, training your dog, you'll see results. But after a week, things come up, life happens, then we don't do it. So then you go to this zone, and then other things happens, then you go to this zone, and then other things in life happens, you forget, and you get to this zone, and then you forget to train. But I hope you will stick with that plan and do 15 minutes a day, at least for next 2 months. It's not much. If you are a dedicated dog lover, if you really love your dog, if you care about your dog, you'll do it. If things happen and it's more important than your dog, then you know that, first of all, you shouldn't have expectation from your dog to behave properly. So you kind of have to understand that, okay, this is the reason my dog is misbehaving. And the other thing is that you shouldn't expect your dog to not to have behavioral issues and stress and all that. But if you stick with the plan and 15 minutes a day, work with your dog, you'll see that it's going to get better. LOL, sorry, you are too funny. Oh, thank you. I try to make it fun as well. I am a funny, I like to have fun. It makes things go smoother. The people who had him before trained him, will I need to wean him off that form of training, or can I just start doing praise and play? Wow, that's an amazing question. Hold on. I would say just start play and praise reward system. It doesn't matter if your dog has been trained, start playing with your dog. Here's another fact, another reality. Dogs, they love play and praise more than food. I know you're going to say, but food is they're foodie. They really care about food. Food is everything. Yes, food is important for every living thing. We all love food. Food is survival. Without food, we'll die. But it doesn't mean that that's all it matters. Think about you. Think about your relationship with your friends, with your family members, with your wife, with your husband, with your kids, with your grandparents. Is it related to food or everything else? Food is a small part of it. Even though, let's say you get together and eat food and feast, but the relationship is what it gets you there. And then you start eating. If you didn't like your grandma or grandpa, you wouldn't go there first of all to eat with them, right? So the love that you have for your grandma and grandpa is the part that is attracting you to them, is the energy that pushes you to them. And then if there is grandma's cooking, that's a bonus. You understand what I'm saying? So your dog is attracted to you, to the play and the praise. When you say to your dog, what a good boy, what a good girl, yes, what a good girl, what a good boy, yes. When you do that, when you say that, when you share that energy with your dog, That is the best reward for your dog. That is the best thing that happens to your dog. That is the best treat in the world. Because your dog is saying, wow, you care about me. You actually are interacting with me. You're telling me that I am everything for you. You care about me. You're paying attention to me. You're not distracted with the computer. You're not distracted with your phone. You're not distracted with TV. You're actually focused on me. That is amazing. That's the best reward. Now, if a treat comes on top of that, yes, it's a bonus. The dogs, many dogs have been treat trained. But we don't need to go to that level. Those times are over. We don't need to involve treat to train the dogs. All we need to do is just stay there, interact with our dogs, pay attention, spend 15 minutes a day. Even though you're saying 15 minutes is not much, I guarantee you if we can stick to that for 2 months. I hope you stick, but for 15 minutes, focus on your dog, and you will see the 4th day, the 5th day, your dog is going to say, man, this is awesome. My dog owner is here with me for 15 minutes, paying attention to me. It's not looking at its phone, it's not looking at things, it's not checking its mail, it's not checking this and checking that, it's not talking to other people, it's focused on me. So you use play and praise. You play with your dog too. What fun is that? How much fun is that to play with your dog? Imagine playing with your dog for 15 minutes a day while you're training your dog. Your dog is going to say, wow, I hit the jackpot here. My dog owner is paying attention to me, is telling me I'm a good boy, a good girl, and then he's playing with me. And he's telling me to sit. And when I sit, it plays with me. He or she plays with me. This is awesome. I can get used to this. So they will do anything for you. If you do that, if you pay attention to your dog and play and praise your dog not only is going to be happy, healthy, because it's not being fed, it's going to be more interacting, more involved with training with you, and is going to give you exactly what you want. Obviously, the first few days is going to be hard because you don't know what you're doing, your dog doesn't know what's going on, you shouldn't be expecting results anyway, and then you're going to see that your dog is going to give you what you really want. That relationship, that result, that is outcome of that relationship. So the relationship building is more important than anything else. The energy that you share with your dog, the fact that you interact with your dog is more important than anything in the world. On top of that, you're praising your dog and you're playing with your dog. Boom, you hit the jackpot. The dog says, I hit the jackpot. If my dog owner is doing that, I will do anything for that person. Make sense? The people who had him before treat trained him, right? So, even though they treat trained him before, doesn't mean anything. You're building a new life, you're building a new relationship. They were doing that way, you're going to do this way. Everything, it doesn't have to be what it used to be. If they were beating your dog, do you have to continue beating your dog? Does it make sense? If they were doing this and that to your dog, do you still have to do this and that? Right? So do what you have to do now, a new life, a new beginning. Don't focus on the past. Forget the past. Forget what happened, what has been done to your dog, and what your dog has gone through. Don't focus on those. Focus on what matters now and tomorrow. Move forward. A new life, a new beginning. Exactly. Thank you very much for your questions. I really enjoyed this session. If there are no other questions, I will be back here every Wednesday evening at 6:30. If you have any questions, any troubles, any follow-up questions or anything like that, be here, ask me a question. Let's hang out together every week. Let's help each other. I enjoy doing this. I have few videos that are going to come out soon in my channel. I have a surprise video coming up. I'm going to have a video tips about living with dogs in a small spaces, like in RVs and apartments. I'm going to have a video that I'm going to be talking about 5 dog training mistakes that dog owners make. I'm going to have a video that I'm going to show you how to wash your dog, how to bathe your dog. Stay tuned for that. I just did that video and I'm still working on it. I'm going to answer the question, should I let my dog to sleep in my bed? I'm going to have a video about that. And I'm going to show you also how to teach your dog the wait command. So many videos coming up. This is just a few of them. And tomorrow morning I'm releasing the interview that I had with dog dad Scott J. Marshall II about if there are any risks in feeding our dogs raw diet. I highly recommend you to go and watch the video series that I have done with Scott J. Marshall, aka Dog Dad. It's in my video library in the playlist Raw Diet. You can find it there. As always, if you have any questions, leave those questions in the comments area. If you're watching this on a rerun, if you want to become an educated dog lover and have a healthy, happy and well-behaved dog, consider subscribing to my channel and also hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I post a video or if I go live. Thank you very much. And Nancy says I'll be here, and Danielle says I'll be here too. Done and done. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon. I'll see you next week, and I'll see you in my channel as well. Thank you very much. Have a great evening. I'll see you next time, and until next time, have fun with your dog.